aspect of it. So basically the cosmological argument is like, I mean, you're obviously familiar, but just to re-articulate to make sure we're on the same page. It's the idea that the universe is so finely tuned that if the constant of gravity were off by like 1 part in a million, nothing would exist. And that amount of precision would indicate a creator. So my question for you is, how do we know that this isn't like some sort of like hindsight bias, where it's like, of course since we exist, we'll look back and say, hey, all the conditions are perfect for us to exist. But of course we are, because we're the ones that exist. Even if it was a 1 in a million chance, any one of those 1 in a million like chances would look back and be like, oh, it was 1 in a million, right? So how do we know it's not simply hindsight that's biasing us? That's the first point. Second point is, how do we know that the universe actually could have been another way, and that a universe doesn't just exist the way it does out of necessity? Like, just because we could say that if it was moved by 1 part in a million that it would fall apart, that isn't the same as saying that it was possible that it could have been a different way. Like, for all we know, this is the only way the universe could have came about. So how do you reconcile those things?
Well, it could have been those two. I'm not saying that there's proof that it wasn't either of those. But what is the evidence behind them, the strong evidence? And I don't know if you posited the multiverse.
I have.
What is the strong evidence behind the multiverse theory? The eternal nature of the cosmos. What is the evidence that we all just came from a primordial soup? A little blind amoeba hopped up on the land and evolution just occurred. You know, someone just over here was questioning and very upset with me that I was sort of pro 10 commandments that are being taught in schools in Louisiana. Very upset with me. Okay, why can't I get just as upset with them over these naturalistically driven, indoctrinated scientific textbooks that start with "we all came from primordial soup," when there is not a single shred of evidence from us coming from primordial soup?
Right. And I would actually completely agree with you on this point, and that's like sort of what I was getting at, is that when there's multiple plausible explanations, what makes you super confident that Christianity is absolutely the one that most likely counts for it? That's like sort of what I'm asking. Because for me, it's like, I'm an agnostic, so I'm like, I don't know which one of these I should go with.
I don't think you're an agnostic. I think your smile is too big to be an agnostic.
I enjoyed these conversations a lot. I'm a fan of you guys. So.
I think you're a Christian agnostic.